Hello everyone, Stepan here. I'm going to play another training game, this time against a subscriber called Volatility21. I'm not sure what his or hers rating is. And we are going to play a 15-minute game with a 15 seconds increment. And let's go without much further ado. Okay, so I'll challenge him and let's see. Okay, let me just turn off the sound on the board. Sound silent, and let me just say hello in the chat. Okay, e4, because I play e4. Let's see what he does. Let me just see if everything is correct. Okay, everything seems to be working. c5, the Sicilian. Okay, now, well, I play knight to f3, I play knight to c3, I play the Smith-Morra gambit sometimes with d4. I might actually go for that, although I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm going to play knight to f3 just to see what he does. His rating is 1500 with a question mark, so that could be anything. Really, it only means that he hasn't been playing much. So g6, the Hyperaccelerated Dragon, d4 has to be played. Takes. Now, well, the sensible move would be knight to c3, but I'm going to play f3, trying to set up a Maroczy bind position with c4, e4 and f3, so I'm going to do that. And after bishop g7, I'm going to play bishop to e3. I know this is not the soundest way to play against the accelerated dragon, but it seems to give white a lot of attacking chances, and, well, I like the positions which I get after that. He could, of course, go for e5, knight b3, and just trying to chase my knight away, but I think this position is okay for white, even though it's not the best. Knight to c3 is, of course, the theoretical move. Bishop to d3 could also be played, but then after queen to b6 I have to play bishop to e3, and then my b2 pawn is hanging, so my knight on d4 is unprotected, so I have to play knight to b3, which seems, well, unnecessary. So okay, just normal development. Bishop to e3. Okay, bishop g7, bishop to e2. If he plays queen to b6, I think I'm going to go just castles, letting my pawn go for some activity. Perhaps not. Perhaps I'm going to play b3. Although I'm not really worried about my b2 pawn. I can't play knight to b3, obviously, because my knight is hanging still. I'm sorry, my bishop is hanging. If queen to b6, knight b3, then queen takes e3. Although I could just take his bishop for now, because if queen b6, I can play knight to f5 and just take here. Because after queen takes b2, knight takes g7 check, king takes g7, I can play knight to d2. And I have gained, well, probably his most important piece on the board for a pawn, which seems pretty insignificant at the moment. Let's see what he does. Because if queen b6, knight to f5 would actually protect my bishop and attack his. And attack his queen. I guess castles should be played. And then I'm going to play queen to d2, I think. I might even play c4. No, yeah, I actually have to be careful, because if now... Yeah, okay. So knight to f5 was the plan. Do I lose anything? Knight f5. Okay, let's calculate. Knight to f5. Queen to a5 check. Bishop to d2 attacks the queen. I guess knight to b4 is an option, but then I just take the bishop. So okay, queen b6, knight to f5, queen to a5 check, bishop to d2. Knight f5, queen to b4 check, bishop to d2 once again. I don't think queen a5 or queen b4 check works after knight f5. And if knight f5, queen takes b2, knight takes g7, check. Yeah, I'm just going to play that. I really don't see what he does. Can just check him, ruin his pawn structure. I think I should do that. Now just knight to d2, and I'm fairly happy with this exchange. I got rid of his good bishop, and yeah, I gave up my b2 pawn, but that seems rather insignificant at the moment. I think he should take with the d pawn. Opening up his king is unnecessary. So okay, d takes e6, knight to d2, knight to b4, bishop to d3. He can take on a2 with his knight, I guess. But yeah, that should be far too risky. This might not have been the best choice, but I think it's okay. I got the bishop pair for a pawn. So okay, knight to d2. I don't think he should have taken with the f-pawn, because now, well, his king seems to be a bit more naked, although he did keep an extra pawn in the center. And now with bishop h6, he can go king to f7. Well, I have a free check, so I don't think this is such a big deal. He was attacking my bishop, of course. So now I'm just going to castle. Yeah. I like my position, I like my bishop pair. I mean, this okay. This I saw, so now bishop to d3. I was calculating knight to b4 though, because then he could have also been attacking my a2 pawn, but the problem with taking with the f-pawn is that e5 at any point is going to free up some checks. And I'm definitely going to be playing f4, f5, opening up the position, because now, especially with my bishop on d3, it's just begging for that. The position is just begging for that. So now f4, f5, whichever way he takes, I have 4 pieces around his king, and I really doubt that my pawn is being a pawn down is significant at all. Okay. I don't want to play e5 because then f5 isn't as powerful. If I let him capture, then f5 once again isn't as powerful. But then again, if I let him capture, then knight takes e4, and if knight takes, I have an extra check. So I think I'm just going to develop my last piece into the game. Well, okay, what are his options? If I play e5, then knight to d7 obviously has to be played. And then what do I do? If I take on d5, then he has to take with the pawn. Otherwise, I have a square for my knight on e4. Do I just play f4? Yeah, I think I just want to play f4. Open up the position. It's basically another pawn sacrifice because he has 3 defenders, the bishop and the e pawn and the g pawn. And I sort of want him to take on e4 because then my bishop can come to c4 as well, on this diagonal. I think I'm going to play f4, just to play as aggressive as possible. I just want to open up the position, and if he takes, I'm going to take with the knight and not open the f file yet, but his king is naked after f takes e6, so I think I have to exploit that. His bishop is still undeveloped. His rooks are both out of the game. And now I also have knight to f3 if I want. Which I do want because then knight f3 to e5 is a pretty deadly combination, I think. I like my position. And I really don't think his extra pawn is meaningful at all. I'm trying to find a move for him. I don't think taking is good because then he's left with permanent weaknesses on e6 and d7. I think he should just play bishop to d7 and try to get his bishop somewhere useful. Maybe to c6 and then get another, or perhaps b6, bishop to b7. That might also be a good plan, but then if he plays b6 or bishop d7, bishop c6, then I'm definitely going to play e5, blocking out his bishop from the game. Because then I also could get in knight to f3, knight to g5 and pressure the e6 pawn if his bishop is on the other diagonal. I could also play g4. I actually like g4. So g4, f5. Let's say bishop d7, g4, bishop c6, f5, e takes f5, e takes f5. He would probably take de before that. So bishop d7, g4, bishop c6, f5, d takes c4, knight takes c4. No, I can't really do that because I lose a pawn after bishop to c6. So after bishop c6 I can't play f5, I have to play e5, but then g4 was almost a wasted move. Well, it wasn't really, because after e5, knight d7, f5, e takes f5, g takes f5. He can't really play g takes f5 now, because then rook takes f5 is a check and a deadly one. Because then I also... okay, what... Okay, so he took with the knight. So okay, I have to take with the knight, otherwise I lose a pawn. I think I have to. Although, okay, if bishop takes, d takes, knight takes, queen takes, knight g5 check, king e8. I don't really want to give up my pawn like that. So okay, knight takes, d takes, bishop takes. Yeah, I'm going to play that. I don't really want to give up a pawn. And this way I'm also preventing him from developing normally with either b6 or bishop to d7. I don't think I'm worried about rook to d8. I can just play bishop to d3. No, I can't, because then knight takes c2. Okay, I have to be a bit careful. So okay, rook to d8. Rook to d8, I might play queen to g5, and then if e5 I'm going to play f5, and then g takes f5, queen h5 check. And he can only go to g8 or to f6. So okay, now I guess I have to give up my light squared bishop. Well, whichever pawn he captures with, I have a check, but do I want to provoke h6 first? Because if I play bishop to g5, then he will play h6, and then if I capture the knight, I can play bishop to h4. Do I want to save my dark squared bishop or my light squared bishop? That's the question. I can't really choose though. I could gain a tempo on the queen first. No, I can't, because queen to c5 check. I don't really want to take his knight. Okay, bishop takes f5. He's not going to play g takes f5. He will take with the e pawn, and then if queen to d5 check, then he has bishop to e6, and I can take on b7. So I guess I'm going to play that, at least win my pawn back. He can also take with the queen though, and not lose a pawn, because he has a check and then queen takes f5. But then I have g4, but then he has another check. Well, his king seems rather unsafe, so what? This just seems far too risky. Because he only has one square to go to. He can only go to g8, and that's blocking out his rook, and I think I'm actually close to checkmating him. He can only go to g8 because going to f6 is checkmate. This seemed fairly risky and unnecessary. I guess I'm just going to play rook a to d1 next, and because he can't really develop his bishop. Rook a to d1, and then if bishop to d7, rook takes d7. Yeah, okay, so he resigned. Wait, good game. Yeah, he should have taken with the e pawn, and I think he would have been fine. Okay, let's just analyze the game. As always, in my training games and in my tournament games, I'm going to run an engine analysis at the end of the video. So let's see the game from the top. How do I turn on the engine? Okay, so e4, c5, knight f3, g6, d4, cd4, knight d4, knight f6, and now f3, which is a dubious move. I know I should have played knight to c3, but I like playing f3. Knight c6, bishop to e3, bishop to g7, bishop to e2. Yeah, d5 is the common break. But now queen to b6. This is actually similar to the poisoned pawn variation of something, but I don't want to play knight to c3 because that's too passive. Knight to f5 seems just more fun. White has an edge. So now, yeah, takes, king here. I don't understand. Okay, so the engine agrees that knight to e6 check is a good move. It actually takes with the f pawn. Knight d2 is forced. Queen to c3 attacks my bishop, so checking is fine. King here, castles. Knight to d4 is a weird move because now after bishop to d3 I think I'm just better. d5, f4, what? Whoa. Okay. f4 loses because of d takes c4. How can you just lose? Okay, I do give up a pawn, but what's the problem? I really don't understand why this is so bad. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Yeah, I completely missed this. So okay, so now after this I have to take with the bishop. Oh, once again, I just lose a piece. Oh, horrible. Okay. I hung a piece. Yeah, this I completely missed this. So, whew, okay. So f4 was a blunder, but let's see. So okay, he took with the knight, so that doesn't really and another mistake. Yeah, so yeah. So this is so bad. I actually hung a piece once more. This is very embarrassing. Yeah, it was just a bad game. I mean, I think I played the opening fine. I know this opening and I like to play it. The hyperaccelerated something. Just, yeah, I mean, this is better for white, and then I just managed to... Yeah, f4. This is actually the... I actually missed this. I missed that queen to e3 wins a piece, and he should have exploited that. So, okay. Not a really long game or too instructive game, but perhaps some new ideas if you haven't seen this in the Hyperaccelerated Dragon. This idea with f3, even though it's not the best, knight to c3 is better, of course. It's a fun opening to play for white, and you have to be careful about this queen to b6 stuff, but you can give up a pawn safely and get some initiative going. I just think this is much better for white, even though you're a pawn down. The fact that I managed to blunder after e5 is just horrible. It says here that knight to b3 should have been played, and then after the knight moves, well, some weird engine lines which I would never play, but okay. Still, I mean, it's easy to play for white. Why not just this? Okay, but anyway, I mean, I had the bishop pair for a pawn, and it was an okay opening. So, okay, everybody, thanks very much for watching. I hope you got something from this training game, and stay tuned for more chess, and tell me if you like this format of training, and challenge me for a game if you'd like to play a 15+15 game against me. Thanks very much, and see you later. Bye bye.